Recently, I joined a game jam, which is basically an online competition where you compete to make the best game you possibly can in 1 week. And in the first 4 days, I somehow managed to make a fully working portal system where you can teleport anywhere that you place a portal. So with only 3 days left to finish my game, I hit the sack ready for day 5. Since I already had the core gameplay mechanic in place, which was the portals, I decided that I should probably add some kind of combat system. Of course, to have a combat system, I need some kind of enemy, and so I thought this would be a really cool opportunity to make what's called an active ragdoll, which is basically just a normal ragdoll that uses physics to balance itself and move around. So I got to work in Blender, and a few minutes later, I made this dude. For memory's sake, I'm gonna call him Dandrew. Before I got to work coding Dandrew's movement system, I decided that I should probably figure out how this combat system is gonna go, and that's when I decided that the player should be able to punch instead of shoot, because punching is pretty cool, I'm not gonna lie. So I put Dandrew on hold for a minute and made a little arm with a hand at the end that I definitely didn't copy from Minecraft, and it reacts to whenever you run, and it also has a punch animation. Before I went back to Dandrew, I also added an invisible hitbox at the end of the hand so that whenever you punch something, it would be able to detect that it got hit and fly in the opposite direction. Figuring out the punch animation took a little while, but it wasn't that bad, so I got back to Dandrew and... oh, it's midnight already? What? Well, Dandrew, I hate to do this to you, man, but I gotta shut down for the night. It's day 6, and I have one goal, which is to make this guy here balance on his own. But to turn him into an active ragdoll, he needs to be a ragdoll, which he is not. But luckily, when I imported him from Blender, I gave the model all of the bones that it needs to become a ragdoll. So that part was actually fairly easy. So all I need to do now is make him balance, and he's just one stupid ragdoll, so that shouldn't really be that... Okay, before you ask, yes, this is the same guy. I definitely did not replace Dandrew. Obviously, he's fine. He just, hit puberty. But hey, he stands now, but he's kind of a wobbly guy. So I brutally dismembered him for a bit and then fixed up his joints, and he was good to go. Now he just needs a way to fight back against the player, so like any good parent with their newborn child, I gave him a Glock 17. I also made a script so that whenever you get within a certain range of him, he'll raise his arm to shoot you, but unfortunately he can't actually aim at you because he doesn't have the ability to turn yet. So I did a little bit of clever programming to make him rotate towards the player, so now he can actually aim at you. So Dandrew's pretty much done now, except he can't really shoot his gun, which is kind of the entire point of the gun. But somehow it was already 1 AM, and so I decided it would probably be best for my brain to call it a day and hit the sack. Okay, so it's day 7, and I've only got one thing left to do, which is to finish that gun right there. So it shouldn't be too hard. Let's get into it. I've gotten as far as to make him aim his gun at you when you get close enough, but it just kind of looks like he's a caveman who just discovered fire and is trying to tell you that in some weird prehistoric language. I don't know, but that is no bueno. So I need to start with a bullet, and there's only 2 really good ways to do this. One is with a hit scan, which is way too complicated for the amount of time I have left, and the other is just to use a physical bullet, which is apparently way easier, and so that's what I ended up rolling with, and as you can see, it worked really well. Oh, what the heck? What did I do wrong? Why is he being such a little bit? It works good now, I think. I still need the gun to damage the player, so I just took my damage system from my other game called Physics, which is free on itch.io by the way, and to finish everything off, I made some particle systems for when you punch the enemy, so that's pretty cool. So there we go, all of the gameplay mechanics are working just as I wanted them to, and I can package this baby up and send it to itch.io for the jam. Oop, not so fast. Looks like you forgot to make a level. Son of a nutcracker. Once upon a time, there was a stupid goober who made games in his parents' basement, and for some reason in all the time that he's been making games, he still hasn't made a single level, and that goober is me, so... What are you doing in my house? The closest thing I ever made to a level was this weird zone where you just destroy a bunch of crap and mingle with a half-naked cowboy for some reason. So my level building skills are kinda sucky, but I gotta do what I gotta do, and I only got a couple hours left to do it, so... Crap. First thing I did was turn Dandrew into a prefab so that I could copy him and put him all over the place. And then I deleted everything because I gotta make a level and it's all in the way. So now that I had a blank slate, I had to do a little bit of brainstorming to figure out what to do with it. I did manage to squeeze out a couple decent ideas, and I ended up making these elevators that you can put a portal on, and I also made these bounce pads that look like doors just to fit with the theme. And finally, with only a few hours left in the jam, I had everything ready to start cooking up this level. And boom, the level's done. I had to take out the custom lighting that I did in the scene because the baked lighting was being kind of an issue, and the goal of the game is basically to defeat every enemy on the map and make it to the spinning gold donut at the end as quickly as you possibly can. I haven't added a speedrun timer for that, but I think I will eventually because it sounds like it would make it a lot more fun. But yeah, finally it's ready to be published, so off to itch.io. What's up? It's me, I'm back. I've got some news to share, so sit tight as you watch me at my desk talking about things. So at the time I'm recording this, the jam ended like 4 months ago, and I'm not proud that it took me this long to actually get this video out. I had this really ambitious idea of like a fully animated fight scene, so sorry. In terms of the actual jam though, my game got 323rd place out of 785 entries, so that's not good, but I don't really care because I had fun making it, and it is probably the best game that I've made so far. And since the jam ended, I've actually improved the game a lot. Like, I fixed up the lighting, which was terrible before, and I improved the graphics with like reflection probes and lighting probes and stuff, so it looks a lot better than it did before. And I also got rid of that ugly board that set all the controls that was at the start of the level, and instead I moved it to the menu, which also has some spectacular door dude art. I made it in 10 minutes, and it's also kind of a copy of Portal, but we don't talk about that. The biggest thing that I did add was a speedrun timer. And let's just say, I think I'm pretty good at my own game. Pretty sure my record was like 22.5 seconds. I have a recording of it actually. I'll play that at the end of the video. And if you want to try to beat my record, there is actually a chat in my Discord server that you can join and, you know, submit a video of yourself speedrunning the level or whatever. Or just like tell me your time and pray that we think you're honest. Anyway, thanks for watching. If you do want to download the game, it's going to be uploaded to itch.io in the updated form, not the Game Jam version. Probably right after I upload this video, or right before, actually makes more sense. And I'm gonna roll my speedrun clip now. $22.57.
Holy crap.